Hi Sagittarius, if you want to come on in, have a seat for some symbolic support. Here's your ink blot made in your name and essence if you want to take a screenshot. So you can scry in your own time and terms for shapes or symbols that speak to your psyche and psychic senses. As well, feel free to comment below if you see any shapes or any symbols that pop out, inspire others, or just share your perspective, possibilities, and the meaning. All right, Sages, thank you so much for being my muse, for holding space for me to share my insights, and allowing me to be a guest in your aura. If you'd like to take a moment with me, let's release the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. Let's go. Sages, there's a blatant light body feeling coming on. We'll add on some tarot and oracle in a moment. Do you see? And it's like the hands are out here. It's like, do you see it? And Sages, maybe that's something that I don't know if it's necessarily internal and external, or just external, or just internal, but it's like, but do you see it? Do you see it? It's a blatant, for me anyway, what I'm feeling is like a blatant embodiment of light, of the sun. Somebody also might live somewhere where it's very sunny. You might be considering moving somewhere where it's more sunny versus seasonally dramatic, like where I am out in Canada. I'm seeing, I don't know if they're silos. They could be like silos, but I dare say, like, I'm gonna say it because it's what's coming through, but I don't know how to place it, and that's okay. I'm not gonna try and force it, but Chernobyl's coming through as well. So maybe somebody in the Sages, maybe that message is for somebody specific. If you had relatives or ancestors that existed in that time frame of Chernobyl. I'm seeing what looks like to be a male spirit quite in your aura. Sorry if I'm stumbling there. It's kind of almost like wizard-like. I don't know if there's somebody in spirit that you can kind of pick out in place. Like, yeah, they were different. They stood out in your lifetime differently. They are in spirit, but I don't want to isolate them to that if their spirit is still existing in density. But they're right here, and they are like helping you. They're helping you. Like, I can see them, like, it almost feels like a solar power because of those sages that are working in, whether it's your solar plexus or the solar body. If you land, oh, sorry, I'm so chilly. I'm going to keep going here. Sorry, Sages. I get distracted. I do feel like somebody in the Sage Collective may have recently lost somebody, and they actually... Okay, so the way I'm seeing this is, if you're more recently lost somebody, condolences. But I see them like floating in like a gold, okay? So I see them floating in gold energy towards their higher self, becoming, acknowledging, already were, this, that, or the other. But they're like gravitating away. And this wizard takes on a different role in this case, but similar. And as one that is currently still in density, having received the loss, is helping to work through grief to still not sink, but to stay in, and I feel like that's a weird way of saying it, not stay happy-go-lucky. That's not what this is about. But to still energize your solar body while working through grief. Because this ghost is also going to go and is going through grief. Like ghost grieve too, is how I'm hearing it. So there's this like interaction. And there's also like, I'm seeing when, I think it was in Will and Grace. And yeah, it was. and it was at Jack and Karen, and they would like lift their shirts and do a belly bump. That's what I'm seeing as well. So it might have been somebody really close to you as a friend, this, that, or the other, just somebody in your inner circle that you might have recently lost. And it's coming to, okay, so whether the recent loss was of that like Jack and Karen friendship, or the soul that has recently transformed, the spirit of this friend Jack and Karen relationship is coming in to help you while you're still oh my goodness, it's like there's this crazy expansion going on. And I kind of want to say, like, I know it can feel like I'm being pulled apart, and I'm kind of getting Mad Hatter vibes as well. See, it's almost as if, like, to become clear, if I may, or for some things to become clear, you might go through like moments of feeling crazy or something along that lines. Like you're just like Mad Hatter Wonderland style. Like you might do things a little differently, but there's something transforming. And it's bringing me right into, like, if I recall, at least in the one with Johnny Depp, I don't know if it speaks to it in other versions, because something with the Mad Hatter is the way he is because something was taken away from him. For whatever reason, I can't remember that part of the story. Maybe it's just not for me to see. The vision, the bardo, maybe it's not for me to see, but it's for the sages to see. Some of you might be transforming or really heightening your seer senses, working with your physical senses, and as well that, classic sixth sense feel. Okay, Thanatos, the prayer, and the kiss. Okay, so somebody has passed. Confirmation for me anyways that somebody in like your spider web, family that you're tied to, whether it's through friendship, karmic, family, this, that, or the other, and they're reaching out to you from this webbing that still very much so connects you. They hear your prayers and they send a kiss, whether that's a kiss or the belly bump kiss. Like I said, because there's like at least two spirits that I'm seeing here. One feels they feel balanced, so it could also be parents, but I'm not going to get stuck there. If you resonate, you resonate, because I want to, thank you, place this prayer card right there in your Rorschach, in your ink blot. See, like the blues down here, and then the pinks and yellows over there. When I wander into the internal of the sages, I feel like I'm answering my own prayers by doing whatever work that you're doing, even possibly questioning things. Yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm down here in what I'm sensing is more emotional. But there's still a lot of light in that emotion. So it's like when I see that one spirit who has passed and in the gold. The other one's more indigo, like an indigo child or an indigo soul, or they work a lot with, or that's how they're presenting themselves with like your crown chakra Mad Hatter thing, right? Okay, so that's helpful. Thank you. When I'm down here in the waters, there's still a lot of light in there. I'm seeing somebody with a toothpick in their mouth. Yeah, it's a toothpick in their mouth. And I'm also seeing like a teething toy. Apocalypse. Yeah, somebody's passed. Like a teething toy. The womb, the desert, and what's hidden, unseen, is the storm. Okay, so the spirit that passed might have been like stillborn or something, a child, a small one. with the womb in the desert, like, or maybe somebody's unable to have children. You've just found that out. Like, I'm unable to, I could say naturally or traditionally, the ways we know to have children. And like a thought is like sinking in quicksand. I don't know. Okay, what I'm hearing is when I'm down here, okay, so now I'm with like the teething toy, this, that, or the other, and I come back to prayer. What is this over here that like flew out and I didn't see? The starborn. Oh, okay, fascinating. Okay, so there it is, right in there. If you have recently found out, and this message obviously may be for the few versus the many, if you feel like, okay, I'm trying to be very sensitive here. If you have lost a little one, my condolences. They are with other souls, and I feel like they might try and come back again as well. If you've been recently maybe told that your womb, or maybe, it's simply age, or because of, it's bringing me into the Chernobyl thing, like maybe you had an illness, or there's something that you've had to go through, and the effects unknown later on is that the womb space is, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but like a desert. I still feel like there's something coming about. Now, for some, in regards to any sort of career profession, I feel like you might shift your focus to that because of this hurt or pain and become like a star in your world. I feel like even if your inner landscapes and have been told that, there's still another way. Like, I don't know if there's going to be an adoption or something along that lines. Like how do I say that? That's like a prayer is going to be answered, but there's something about, depending on the energy that is nurtured in the mind through the body into that space. If it's stormy, I understand there's a grieving process, and maybe that's where you're in right now, whether it's of a soul or like a miscarriage or something like that, or the news. Feel the storm, move through it, and then start. It's, like kind of after a hurricane kind of blows through, or tornado, and then it's cleanup time, the rebuild time. And I see like the attention. It might even be different modalities. There might even be like some sort of like cosmic healing, or I don't know what it is, but something else is stepping forward. Okay, we are here for sages. Thank you so much for being my muse. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. Links are below to help a gal grow. There's that indigo. Sorry, the indigo spirit just stepped forward again with the soul that's passed. It's like they're working, like when I said like they're like wizardry, like like I don't know, doing things, and maybe that's something you've been going through in birthing, whatever it may be. But there's something in the emotional space here down below. Peacock, prosperity. Okay. Sages. Is there anything else we can add here for sages? Armadillo, groundedness. Did you want to come through? Bison ritual. I'll receive that as a sidebar. Unseen. Thank you. On the bottom, we have red fox strategy. And maybe that's so wise. Like when I think of the red fox strategy, I think of the womb, the desert, and the prayer. Okay. But how I actually, it's like way up here. I don't know if the camera and the lighting will let it come through. There is a fox above her, like her umbrella. So there's somebody in spirit that maybe right now the emotions, the root loss of it all, the energized emotion is blocking like the sun. And I don't mean that it's you're grieving, that's what you do, or perhaps in a place of healing right now, but they're up there. When you are ready to receive the prosperity, hidden, we have here tiger that came up. Okay, so I'm going to place these in, sages. So the peacock of prosperity. I almost want to say, like, depending on your resonance with the peacock as a symbol, do your own research, follow your own alignment. But I want to place the peacock right in about there. And then I also want to draw it up there. Yep, right about there. Here's that kiss again. That kiss. It's like I can feel like through the solar body enhancement, even though I might or for some might be going through different losses, maybe even reflection of losses or regrets. As I'm moving through this and my solar body is lighting up, it's the shift or the understanding as I've moved through whatever storms there is. Now I'm adding prosperity to those places in my person, even in my personality, but in my person, shoulder, womb, leg, knee, wherever it is that you feel immobilized. And that's what it feels like, this prosperity of the peacock energy, or working with the peacock symbol. And when I see like the armadillo of groundedness, but there's that sun. And that also brings me up into that space with all the coloring up there. There we go. And see, it's like it's like a castle in the sky. And then I just heard that song, up to the spirit in the sky. You're still grounded. But they shine. And again, there's at least 2 of them here. They shine upon you. Even when you have an umbrella up and you feel blocked, they understand and they can still do their work, but they do wait for like the clouds to part. And as you're working through the sun's really starting to come out here on this rainy day. This tiger, like they're admiring your willpower through tiger energy. So for some, you might be in tiger right now, working through your willpower, applying it wherever you want in whatever channel, and then you'll transform that into, there we go, the peacock. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, sages. And the Mad Hatter gets his love back. And I really can't remember what that is. I don't know if it's a person or a thing. I really don't know. Okay, we're going to close out here. Don't forget that we'll revisit your Rorschach, if I didn't say so already, later on in April, and we'll reverse it for alternative perspective. Agape love here is on the bottom. If anyone needs a reminder or a confirmation that you are not orphaned, and the soul that may have passed, being small, is also not an orphan. You are still very much so connected and love. Okay, the sun's really starting to come out here. Even though it's like a very gray day, but I feel like the lighting is blinded. Okay, closing out for sages. Do we have any last messages? Thank you. Okay. So what came down here and flew to my left is the unseen. There we go. Spirit is seeing you. That's how I'm seeing it. Spirit is seeing you. And there's a lot of things that are going to come into focus for you as you are, I'm going to say, like this light body that is blatantly shining through. You had Keros, and behind it is the self and the mother. So this is the card that came out on front, and it's supported, at least the way I read, by the self and the mother. Again, whether you are a mother, maybe it was your mother that had passed and you feel orphaned, etc. Like there's all those channels. Please follow them accordingly. Interesting that the mother, there's a pearl in the card. I know maybe you can't see it. And then there's also a pearl in the self. The pearl carries on. It's still within you, the heart within you. There's that eye again. It's almost like you can see. And if not right now, it will all make sense to thee. That's a weird way of saying that. I also feel like if you, whether that's like the Karen and Jack, if you do have a mother in spirit, somebody has helped mentoring you. And they're mentoring you through, did I put it back already? I might have already put it back. Sometimes when I try it, there we go. Look how. This mentor in spirit, whether it is this indigo, this male, this wizard, this, that, or the other, or a mother, they are mentoring you through the storm because it's a solar storm. And I don't really actually know what that means for me in this very moment. But I feel like if you get it, if this is your story, you resonate. And if not, you'll have probably well released this reading long ago. All right, sages, I'm going to let you go. I will look forward to seeing you later on in April as we reverse it. Please sustain the work that you are doing in your solar body. Okay, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for being my muse, for holding space, and I'll release out of your aura. Until next time.